What is your favorite trail or part of trail in the Ramba Trail Network? You'll get to see that full drop in a few minutes, but first we're starting here in the Ishpeming Negaunee area, where they have an epic trail network called the Ramba Trails. I'm starting on the trail in Ishpeming, and I'm headed clockwise around the epic loop and finishing basically back to where I started. If you have an app like Trail Forks or Mountain Bike Projects, you can look and highlight the epic loop.
I didn't expect to slide on that rock.
And you can see the start point, which is a little green square, and the end point, which is a little red square. That's basically the way I went and I started. I also added in some other trails that aren't part of the epic loop, but are off the epic loop to make the epic loop even more epic. You can also use these apps to find parking. This trail system has a lot of different places you can park. I personally parked off the end of the Iron Ore Heritage Trail a few miles outside of town, and then I rode to the start.
The leaves. Making it interesting.
Let's talk about Ishpeming. It's a city in Marquette County in the United States, in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Caution.
The population is less now than it was in the 50s and 60s because back then iron ore mines employed a ton of workers. You'll notice as you ride around the trails that there are areas that are fenced off with warning signs as parts of the land have collapsed and caved in.
Caution.
I actually ran into a couple of guys in a bar in Ishpeming. One of them said he worked for the city of Ishpeming. He said that he worked for the mine.
Into the trail. This is crazy.
The mines are very dangerous. He said that they're filled with water now, and he also said that if that water level drops, he fears that the city of Ishpeming could actually collapse down into the mines. Ishpeming is also known for the birthplace of organized skiing in the United States and is home to the National Ski Hall of Fame. If you ride the Epic Loop, there is a certain lookout in which you will look out at the ski jumps. Those crazy big tall ski jumps where they come down with ridiculous amounts of speed and launch themselves hundreds of feet down the hill and land. They are actually right off one of the lookouts on the Epic Loop. Another cool feature of Ishpeming, the city itself sits at 1,436 feet above sea level, and that's actually 800 feet higher than Lake Superior. If you can imagine, this creates quite a bit of elevation and gives you quite a bit of climbs. It has mountainous rock, which makes for an epic, pun intended, trail system. To the east of Ishpeming is Negaunee. Negaunee is a city also in Marquette County, whose population is smaller than it used to be as well, and it is home to a luge track. These names of the cities are originated from Native Americans. One cool feature about Negaunee is it has a lake that is named Teal Lake, and on the north side of this lake, which is still part of the Ramba Trails, but not part of the Epic Loop, are some actually really technical, cool trails if you'd like to try those out. The city was built after the discovery of the Iron Range during the early 19th century. The Jackson Mine was established in 1845 for ore shipment for iron forges. As mining operations expanded, many immigrants helped settle the area, bringing with them rich traditions that remain today. Due to extensive underground mining, roughly half the city was abandoned in the 20th century due to the risk of cave-in. The city closed its trolley system in 1927, and in 1940, the Jackson Mine ceased all operations. A little fun fact, Negaunee became the smallest city to ever host an NBA game. The Milwaukee Hawks beat the Baltimore Bullets 77-71. Baltimore's Don Barksdale led all scores with 24 points. If you want to learn more about the iron industry, you can visit the Michigan Iron Industry Museum, and it's located near the Carp River on the outskirts of Negaunee. I mentioned as part of Ishpeming that you could see the ski jumps, but I actually think that that part of the epic loop is in Negaunee. I think they actually call it home of Suicide Hills Ski Jump. Speaking of snow, fat biking on these trails in the winter is absolutely amazing. If you've never been there for it, you have to put it on your list. The trails, I just can't believe how they groom them, keep them groomed with all the snow that they get up there. Also, if you've never tried the polar roll, that's another thing you should try. It's a great race, fun times in the snow.
What you doing?
Temperatures are usually around 0 degrees at the start. That's Fahrenheit. If the wind's blowing, you can get down to a negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. We've done that too. Always a good time. Just make sure you dress appropriately. Snow biking with your group of buddies is so much fun. Crashes sometimes when the snow's deep. If you crash off the groomed trail, you can potentially need help getting out of the snowbank on the side of the groomed trail because it gets pretty deep at times. Kind of like going into a tree well when you're skiing or snowboarding. So what we usually do when we go up there is we'll rent a place, an Airbnb, stay there with a group of guys, get up there Friday and get a ride in, go check in, get your plates and everything else, your packet pickup on Friday evening. And then sometimes we'll even go back out on the bikes for a night ride on Friday. Get up bright and early on Saturday, race the polar roll. When you're done with the polar roll, we usually will eat some lunch, do another ride in the afternoon, come back, have dinner, head back out for another night ride on Saturday night with lights. It's amazing to have lights in the snow. And then Sunday, we get up, have breakfast, sleep in a little longer than we did Saturday, but then head back out on the trails for a nice ride, late morning, early afternoon on Sunday, and then we head home. Going up in the summer is also a great time. Like I said, the epic loop is definitely epic. There are so many fun trails, even off the epic loop, that you can get to and ride that test your skills and abilities. There's rock slabs, there's roots, there's technical rock terrain, all scattered throughout the trail system to keep it interesting, to keep it fun.
Right.
And again, like I said, to see how your skills are doing. My favorite trails in the Ramba Trail Network are Ninja Sauce, Dirty Mary, Flannel Shirt, The Grinder, 38 Special, and Rock and Roll.
Funny things under the leaves.
Now when we go up in the summer, it's usually to a campground like Rippling River or Raging River or at somebody's property and camp and ride bikes. And it's the same kind of deal. You head out after breakfast for a long day ride, and a lot of times in the summer we'll skip lunch and just ride for 4 to 8 hours and then come back for dinner and repeat the next day because the trails are so amazing. There's so much to connect up there. You really can ride for that long and put in a ton of miles.
Enhanced leaves. Ooh. I would normally be settlers. I can't see.
Be sure to hit Congress Pizza if you love pizza while you're in the area. And my favorite restaurant is Mamma Mia's Italian restaurant. On average, for $25 to $30 at Mamma Mia's, you get soup, salad, a piece of garlic bread.
What about the hazard warnings on my thing? What's the hazard? I feel like.
And then you get your entree with another piece of garlic bread and then ice cream to top it off for dessert. Be careful if you get some of the pasta dishes because the amount of food you're going to get is enough to feed 3 people. I think that about covers it for the Ishpeming Negaunee area. Again, let me know what your favorite trail is or part of a trail in the Ramba Trail Network. Be sure to like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that epic trail that you know you want to visit.
Water down there. Wrong way. I was getting over that. Guessing this is the way.